So we often talk contextual and personalized marketing, but in reality, most businesses, unless they're content generators, could potentially struggle with the lack of content and variation that's perhaps required to deliver on that promise. So how do you see content poor and product minimal businesses achieving that goal?
It's taken years for organizations to just get their customer insights and their customer intelligence to a point where they can leverage that. But I think content intelligence is going to be the next big challenge that we all face. If you think about it, if you understand your customers as individuals, and let's say you understand 1 million of them or 5 million of them as individuals, how are you possibly going to personalize content if you've developed that content to address a few segments or a few personas? It's just impossible to get there. And it's going to require a big change, not only in the way we think about personalization, but in the way we create and manage content. For years, we've had these workflows for content where we go through revision cycles or approval cycles, and we end up with a big piece of glossy content that we try to use in multiple places. That's not going to work in a real-time world. We're going to have to develop content using more flexible templates. We're going to have to develop individual content elements, and we're going to have to accept that we can't possibly approve all the permutations of that content that might end up shown to individual customers. And that's going to change everything for content in the real-time world.
Contextual marketing and personalized marketing, they certainly address the need and the want in terms of the drivers of human behavior. But there's a risk that we can go into the sort of creepy side of marketing. How do we avoid this?
Trust is a critical aspect when we start thinking about addressing customers in real time in a more personal or a more individual way. The phrase, "with great power comes great responsibility," springs into my mind, because if a brand gets this wrong and breaks that trust with a customer, either through an action that they've taken or accidentally because of a security breach, that can cause irreparable harm. That's especially true in today's world. If you think about it, the way we reach most customers as brands is through the mobile device. And the mobile has become incredibly personal. If you want to test that theory, just walk into a room full of people, ask them to take their phones out, unlock them, and hand them to the person standing next to them. You'll see a lot of really nervous looks, because that phone, its apps, its data, its interaction history are all very personal to that individual, and brands need to respect that when they're developing their contact policies. In fact, we'd recommend that what you employ is a customer-driven preference center where the customer has more direct control over those interactions, the time, the frequency, and the content.
Thanks very much, Rusty. It's been great chatting to you.
You're welcome. My pleasure, and thanks again for having me.